All right, if you're deep in the world of modern JavaScripts, you know that a fast dev cycle is, well, it's everything. But let's be honest, when it's time to test, things can slow to an absolute crawl. Today, we're going to look at a tool that's designed to fix that, to unify your workflow and bring the speed back where it belongs. Seriously, think about it for a second. How much of your day is just waiting for tests to finish? Or maybe even worse, how much time do you sink into wrestling with configuration files, just trying to get your tests and your app code to even talk to each other? That friction, that slow feedback loop, it's a huge headache, and it's something a ton of us deal with. So what's the answer? Enter Vitest. That's Vitest, by the way. At its core, it's a testing framework that was literally built from the ground up to pair perfectly with Vite, the build tool that's completely changed the game for front-end development. The whole idea behind it is speed, simplicity, and a developer experience that just works. Okay, so to really get why Vitest is such a big deal, we got to rewind a little. Vite was and is a total game changer for dev and build pipelines. But the story for unit testing wasn't quite there. Most of us using Vite just reached for what we knew, usually Jest. And that created a pretty fundamental problem. And here it is, what I call the two-pipeline problem. When you use something like Jest with Vite, you're basically living a double life. You've got your vite.config TS over here, handling all your app's transformations, your view plugins, your path aliases, the whole shebang. And then you have to create a completely separate Jest.config JS and basically teach it to do all the exact same things just for your tests. It's a nightmare of duplicated work, configs getting out of sync, and just so many ways for things to break. This is exactly where Vitest comes in to save the day. It was built specifically to solve this problem. So instead of fighting with two separate systems, Vitest just uses your existing Vite config. It creates this one single unified pipeline for everything: dev, build, and test. And the benefits of this approach? They're huge, and you feel them right away. You get one single source of truth, your vite.config.ts. All your plugins, your path aliases, they just work out of the box for your tests. No extra setup. And get this, you even get that amazing, instantaneous hot module reloading, but for your tests. It just slashes the amount of config you have to manage, and honestly, it just makes your life so much easier. Now you might be thinking, great, another new tool, another new API to learn. But here's the best part. If you're coming from Jest, the transition is going to be buttery smooth. Vitest was built with a Jest-compatible API on purpose. For a lot of projects, that means you can practically use it as a drop-in replacement. You're going to see the same describe, test, and expect syntax you already know and use every day. The learning curve is almost flat. And yeah, we have to talk about speed. Because Vitest is built on Vite's native ESM support, and it's smart enough to run your tests in parallel using worker threads, the performance boost is just staggering. We're not talking about a little 10% improvement here. Some projects have seen their test suites run an entire order of magnitude faster. We're talking up to 10 times faster. That is a massive difference. Okay, so the theory is solid, right? But how easy is it to actually use? Let's get practical and walk through just how simple it is to get started. It's basically 3 steps. I mean, it really is this easy. Step 1, install it as a dev dependency. Step 2, pop a test script into your package.json. And step 3, just start writing your tests in a .test.js or .spec.js file, exactly like you're probably already doing. And that's it. The best part? When you run that script, it kicks off in watch mode by default, so it's instantly rerunning tests the second you hit save. And here's what a test actually looks like in code. If you've ever written a single test with Jest, this is going to feel like home. You import expect and test from Vitest, pull in your function, and write your assertion. Super clean, super familiar. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This API covers everything you need, from mocking and snapshot testing to code coverage, all baked right in. All right, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now it's time to place Vitest on our roadmap. Let's think of this as a checkpoint on your developer journey, a moment to look at your current tools and figure out if there's a better way forward. So where does a tool like this fit in for you? Think about the projects you're working on right now. Are you about to spin up a new project using Vite? Or are you just feeling that daily pain from a slow, clunky test setup? This is really the point where you can ask yourself if Vitest aligns with where you're trying to go. So let's break it down.
You should seriously consider Vitest if you're building a new project with the Vite. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's the perfect companion. It's also an amazing choice if you're looking to migrate from something slower, like Jest, and you're craving that boost in performance and just a better overall developer experience. Really, if you're someone who prioritizes DX and wants a modern, fast testing solution, Vitest needs to be on your radar.
So, is Vitest the right next stop on your roadmap? For a huge number of modern JavaScript projects, the answer is a definite yes. It just gets rid of the friction, it cranks up the speed, and it lets you get back to focusing on what actually matters: building incredible software. This is Developer Roadmaps. Map your path, build your career.